I think he's terrible. He's a communist. The last thing we need is a communist. I've heard he's a total nut job. I think the people of New York are crazy. If they go this route, I think they're crazy. We will have a communist for the first time, really, a pure, true communist.
President Trump says New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani is not a socialist. He's actually even further left. And in this clip from a few years ago, he sounds more like Karl Marx than Bernie Sanders.
There are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right, or whether it is the end goal of seizing the means of production, where we do not have the same level of support at this very moment.
When he said seizing the means of production, Taylor made a face. What is it? And said, what is that?
Yeah, no.
It's communism.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just too young to understand. I've never.
No. I mean, you
that.
should be. My point is that it's shocking.
It is shocking. That's a look of shock. Here's my stance on this, though. Am I too Pollyanna? Larry Kudlow would say he peaked. Election night, he peaked, right? Because people will rally around, I guess, trying to rehabilitate Eric Adams.
Maybe.
Not perfect, good enough, I guess, given the options that we have. Maybe this was a vote against Cuomo instead of for communism. But I think we have tried these policies. We've tried defunding the police and it didn't work. Crime worsened in COVID. We've tried sending out mental health professionals instead of cops. Didn't work. Crime got worse. We've all lived that experience on the subway. We've tried social, what does he want? Government-run grocery stores. I tell this is not a joke. I did not change my last name when I got married because I cannot go to the DMV because government-run places are inefficient. So I cannot go to I told my husband, love you, hate the DMV more, not changing my name. That would be what your grocery store looks like. I think New Yorkers are smarter than that, but Madison's shaking her head at me.
I don't think he peaked. And I think to take that stance is honestly foolish, and I love you, but I mean,
Larry Kudlow said it. So
yeah, leading up to the election, being of the millennial generation in New York, my social media feeds were all over, all him and all of my friends, people that live in the city, posting about him. He is an incredible communicator, which most
it's
leaders,
what he's communicating. That's the problem.
Right, but his communication skills are impeccable. You'll never see him frowning. He's always smiling. He's always on the streets. Most of his votes were from rich white voters. He spent this past weekend in the Bronx and Harlem. He knows where he needs to go for the votes. And I think, unfortunately, in the city where you have a younger generation that either has enough money and then feels, yeah, let's give it all away, or there's a group that is struggling because you're not making as much money and rents are so high and there's a congestion tax that makes the groceries even more expensive than they were this time last year. All of that adds, and you're hearing from someone who's smiling and knows how to play social media. I'll give it to you for free. I think he's here to stay. And then to defeat a Cuomo who was a disgraced governor and had sexual accusations against him, it's not a hard. And then who's
let me push back, Caroline. If he is the flesh and blood version of a Potemkin village, it's pretty easy to knock that down.
To push back gently, I'm Gen Z. I'm the target demo that he was appealing to, and the pitch of affordability certainly was compelling because there's a lot of young people in NYC who feel like the cost of living is exorbitant and this is like fool's gold that they fall for. But a lot of people, there's been theories that Zohran Mamdani's campaign was organic and grassroots, and this was spontaneous, not even close, heavily organized, just like Kamala Harris, whose momentum was astroturfed for the entire time that she was in the race. Remember Brat Summer? That crashed and burned shortly after takeoff. That didn't ultimately win the hearts and minds of everyone in the country. We have a lot of other boroughs that need to be represented, the independents and Republicans in Staten Island. I think we just need to wait till they show up. One other thing I want to say about his pitch of socialism fundamentally. So Michael Lang in the New York Times, he said that Mamdani won the Commie Corridor, which is Astoria, the gentrified parts of Brooklyn, all the way down
Preaching
the East
to the
River.
choir.
And you know what's interesting about those enclaves is that it's filled with graduates, young professionals who are aspiring to be elite. So there's this idea of elite overproduction, where New York City is filled with people who feel like they're entitled to a level of success that they haven't been able to get. And they feel like socialism somehow will give them what they're owed. But it's very striking, to your point, that poorer, low-income New Yorkers voted for Andrew Cuomo. And it's the middle to upper class that won Mamdani by double digits.
Voter turnout? It was...
No, it was good. It was one of the strongest turnouts.
I mean, how many?
I don't have the numbers.
Yeah,
but it was a strong, for rank voting, this was a strong turnout. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about his policies. I'm talking about his campaigning. And if you can feign a grassroots campaign with incredible backing and strategy, which he had, but still pass it off as grassroots, that's another obvious recipe for success.
But she, 2 words, Kamala Harris, and she went down in flames.
But he smiles and he relates to people.
I know.
Kamala Harris's word salad. He had really strong sentences.
That's like saying Kamala Harris laughs.
No, Mamdani's a great theater kid. He's a terrific theater kid.
His mother is Mira Nair, who is a very famous film director.
Makes him even better. To be posed for doing this.
No,
that's what I'm saying. He's good at this. So you shouldn't dismiss him.
He's not good at it. His mama is.
No, I'll give you that. I actually do believe he's pretty talented. He's been drilled and trained. You can tell he's done speech and debate competitions for his whole life.
But this is what he believes, and this is the classic Marxist theory. People deserve the fruits of their labor. Capitalism prevents this by dividing society into working and non-working classes. Capitalism, he says, alienates society. Marxist exploits workers through the chaotic nature of the free market. So he's the complete opposite, I think, of what New York stands for, to be honest with you.
And if they drive out all the rich people, who's going to pay for the socialism?
Well, there's the problem. You start running out of spending other people's money, as Margaret Thatcher famously said, and she's absolutely right.
Yeah, he doesn't think billionaires should exist.
Yep.
This is the city with the most billionaires in the world, 123.
Yep.
So that's obviously going to change.
See you later.
Right. They won't exist in this city because they will hightail it out of here.
Yep.
He lost black voters. He lost the black vote to Cuomo by 20 percentage points. That tells you everything about hard-working New Yorkers who care about cost of living, who care about making ends meet, and who care about crime, and who care about putting criminals in jail when they commit crimes and assault their family members. His platform is vomitous. And God help, I mean, the people who voted for him are the same people who are indoctrinated into these hate cults by these universities. So
real quick, anecdotally, I have a Russian Jewish friend who's from Brooklyn, and what he told me is that the white ethnic groups in, like, who are Polish or Russian or Eastern European, the people whose older generations fled communism in the USSR, they voted for Cuomo. So it's the white people who have no lived experience of communism and the horrors of that ideology who fell for this pitch.
And why is he saying that white neighborhoods should be taxed at a different rate? I mean, that's just what politician has ever said that?
It's not even legal.
Right.
He has no control
division
over deciding tax rates in New York City.
Yes, that's true.
But that wouldn't stop somebody who has dreams of being Stalin, now would it? I know that that's a reach.
Well, I mean, he is textbook delivering the tenets of communism right out of the Communist Manifesto. I mean, you can take his remarks about taxing rich people, the most affluent, you can draw a straight line on down to confiscating their property, which has happened in every socialist regime in the world.
Mao, confiscate their guns. You can't defend yourself.